It's really hard to understand. We keep hearing about new events of burning the Quran. Someone picks up a Quran and sets it on fire under the protection of a group of policemen. After a while, they do the same thing again. I want to understand what kind of mindset they have. Above all, why are these people allowed by their governments to do such a thing? Why do they allow this nonsense that offends 2 billion Muslims? Not only Muslims but also non-Muslims are disturbed by the burning of the Quran. Another event like this happened again. This time the police intervened, but not against the man who was burning the Quran, because he has a freedom of speech. Instead, the police acted against the people who tried to stop him. 15 people were arrested. With what logic, with what freedom of speech can this be explained? The foreign minister of the same country had made a statement on another Quran burning event, because they're regularly burning the Quran. He said, burning the Quran was not about hate or provocation, but a form of freedom of speech. It's as if freedom of speech only applies to their own ideas. For them, other ideas have no freedom of speech. So what is the purpose of this? Is it to provoke Muslims or to make people start a rebellion? What is this 37-year-old teenager or immature guy doing? What will happen in a situation where the Quran is burning? Are Muslims going to think that, oh, the Holy Quran is burned? How can the miracle of Allah be burned? I'm so disappointed. Is there a problem about Islam? Will Muslims start to have doubts about their religion? In our belief, there's no thought such as if the Quran is set on fire, it will not burn. A miracle is gonna happen. Imagine that you are trying to burn normal papers, they all burn, but when you try to burn the Quran, it doesn't. Such a thing is out of question because this is a world of testing. People who have become demonized will do their devilish acts, and eventually the responses for their deeds will come, but not in this world. When this Quran burner kid tastes this hereafter, he will see that it is not the Quran that is burning this time. Brothers, when do people tend to fight, act violently, burn things? It's when they can't overcome the opposing ideas intellectually. This is their mentality, this is their psychology. You've probably seen the last Quran burner, a 37-year-old teenager. He smokes a cigarette and burns the Quran. He wants attention, to be cared like a child. He wants to attract the attention of the people around him. Hey kid, why are you trying to eliminate Islam like this? Why don't you try to defeat it intellectually? Go to a place like Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, the park where Muslims intellectually refute anti-Islamic ideas and dominate the area. Present your arguments that you think Islam is wrong. You don't need to take 15 policemen with you. No one will beat you. Come on kid, why are you acting immaturely by doing childish things like burning the Quran? Are you a teenager? Are you a 9-year-old boy who doesn't know what to do? Instead of acting like a child, why don't you try to end Islam ideologically? Try to end it if you can. For example, you need to explain that Allah does not exist with arguments and proofs, but because there is no such evidence like this, you cannot win intellectually. You indulge in childish acts. Actually, such people like this teenager feed on the reaction and attention of others. There is a story told about someone like this. Someone who is a lover of fame urinates in a masjid, and then everyone starts talking bad about him. And because he's a fame-obsessed person, he gets pleasure from it even if it's bad. This teenager also gets pleasure from people attacking and insulting him. Everyone has a different reaction, but if I were there, facing that kid, I would probably stand in front of him. I would make fun of the kid for a while without getting angry. As all children, he needs love, he needs care. I would probably say, "How old are you, kid? Are you 9? Are you 5? Are you nervous because your friends at the kindergarten didn't share their toy with you? Do you want chocolates? Do you want candies? What are you trying to accomplish? You're not damaging Islam when you burn the Quran. You're showing how weak you are against it. You don't have an argument." For example, as a Muslim, do I try something like this about other beliefs, other religions? No. As Towards Eternity channel, we show evidence, we show proof, we explain logically, that's it. By the way, something similar happened at the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Abu Jahl comes up with an idea, looks at his friends and says, "Who will put these camel intestines, stomach, on Muhammad's neck when he prostrates, he makes sajda?" Uqbah, with a devilish smile on his face, gets up from his seat. Without thinking, he took the stinking intestines that had been waiting under the hot sun of Arabia for a day. Think about how bad it smells. While Prophet Muhammad was prostrating, Uqba dropped the intestines on the neck of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet was left without air under the camel waste and blood. The oppressors of Quraysh laughed with joy when they watched the Prophet. From a distance, little Fatima sees the incident and rushes to her father. As she was crying angrily, she was lifting the camel intestines off the Prophet with her tiny hands. So what does the Prophet ﷺ do at that moment? He continues his prayer. Can you see the sincerity? When he finishes the prayer, he gets up from the ground and stands in front of those oppressors. He opens his hands and says, "Oh Allah, destroy the people of Quraysh." The oppressors of Quraysh froze in the presence of those words, because even though they do not believe, they know who our Prophet ﷺ is, and they know that his dua will be accepted. Later on, Prophet's dua would be accepted, and those Quraysh oppressors would lose everything they have and become ashamed. In other words, similar events happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ as well. People who could not win ideologically tried childish ways. So it's not something new. These kind of things never work. They realize that Islam is rising fast. All the statistics show that Islam is now the fastest growing religion in the world. They know that neither Judaism, nor Christianity, nor atheism, nor agnosticism have any feature, but Islam does. With its logical proofs, Islam convinces people of its truthfulness. There are many people from every country, every religion who have converted to Islam. YouTube is full of convert interviews of these people. From England, from America, from Canada, from Christianity, from atheism, people are continuously converting to Islam. They share the logical reasons about why they became Muslim. There are so many beautiful convert stories. They say that they had prejudices at first, but when they read the Qur'an, they say it appealed to their logic. We talked about this in detail in the video Unstoppable Spread of Islam. In short, their problem is clear. That's why they burnt the Qur'an. But they do not realize that their efforts are pointless. Our Lord says in the verse, they want to extinguish Allah's light with their mouths. Yet Allah refuses but to complete His light, even if the deniers dislike it. So even if they do not want to, they will not be able to prevent the rise of Islam with their childish behavior. Whatever happens, the future is going to be Islam's. Allah is going to complete His light, even if they do not want it.